Hi everybody, DREAMCORP here with a music production tutorial. So today, I wanted to take you through one of my new songs called It All Goes Wrong Eventually, because it's fun, and I wanted to talk about it, because I think it's a pretty simple song, and for those who are curious about how I produce music, I figured this would be a cool time to take a look at how I do things. So, let's go. Alright, so first glances here, this is a pretty small project for me. In total, I think we only have 10 actual tracks doing stuff, so yeah, that's on the smaller side. I don't think I've ever had a DREAMCORP song that's this small, so that's fun, but the whole song pretty much centers around some synth patches, a little bit of organ, and some guitar, electric guitar, and then bass. So electric bass, that is. So yeah, I think it's cool. It's the first time I've ever used electric bass or guitar in a DREAMCORP track, and I think it turned out pretty well. Some fun facts about this song. For some reason, this song is in 200 BPM. I have no idea why. I must have been thinking about like 100 BPM, but double time. I really don't know what I was thinking when I did that, so we're just not going to talk about it. So the whole song kind of centers around this Jupiter 8 patch that's playing these really long sustained chords that sound like this. So yeah, well, like when I said these were very long held sustained chords, I was not joking. I literally hold each chord for almost 10 seconds. I just thought it was vibey that way. Honestly, it's fun to just let chords sit and let the music breathe. So that's what I did. So this Jupiter patch is actually just a preset. So Locust Pad. If you want it, it's there for you. If you have a rolling cloud and you have the Jupiter 8, it's all yours. You can use it. Isn't that so crazy? Presets. There's no shame in using presets. Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso was just a splice loop. So come on, you can do anything. You can do anything. Anyway, so taking a little look at the MIDI of this Jupiter patch, it's very interesting chord shapes, ones that I don't usually do. I am kind of bound by habit, and I tend to play everything in B minor because it's just a friendly key, only 2 sharps, and I think it's fun to solo in it. But here, I don't even know what key I'm in, honestly. I just played 4 chords that sound vaguely similar to each other and just sound nice. There's some progression here, but it doesn't really make sense, honestly. Like, this chord, first chord, looks like a D major 7 with the 9 in the bass, and this looks like a E major triad with the 9 again. And I like the 9 tension. That's fun. It's one of my favorites. That and like a sharp 11 is pretty cool too, or a flat 13 on the dominant chords. I don't know. I'm getting really music theory right now, and that's dumb. Don't worry about it. It's not that important. Just trust your ears. And this third chord also looks like what? D major. I don't know. This chord could be honestly 2 things depending on how you analyze it. If you analyze it from the root, kind of looks like A major with the 11 and the 13 and the 9. So pretty much like all the tensions if you analyze it like that from the root, or you can analyze it like D major 7 with the 9. That's another way you can analyze it. Just depends on your style, I guess. I don't know. I'm no genius. And this last chord is F sharp minor with the 9 again. Whoa, 9s. Isn't that crazy? 9s are fun. They don't feel super alien, but they also just feel tasty to play. So there's that. And what kind of grounds this whole section here is this C sharp that just happens on the, I guess, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of not exactly the backbeats, but it kind of feels like the backbeats. I don't know. I think the C sharp is pretty cool because honestly, I was watching this video about Radiohead one day, and they were playing chords where the top note always stayed the same, and I thought that was an interesting idea, so I kind of played off that a little bit here. But yeah, that's kind of the idea with the chords and the Jupiter 8 patch. That's kind of the main part of the song besides the guitar, honestly. But some of these background layers are actually kind of interesting and add some interesting atmosphere. My gosh, how many times can I say interesting in a sentence? Jeez. One of the patches in this group is actually a Roland D50, which is one of my favorite synthesizers. I love the Roland stuff, honestly. I have the Roland Cloud subscription, and it's pretty cool. I enjoy it for especially my old 80s, 90s type music that I make. It's fun. I like it. But this is the D50 patch soloed. So you kind of see there we have some atmosphere going on with the D50. In context, it sounds like this. So it's really not something you hear necessarily, but it does contribute to the overall atmosphere. That's something that I feel like is kind of underrated with people. They think you always need to hear every part of the song, and you don't always. It can still have an impact. Like without this is what the song would sound like. Like it sounds similar, it has some of the same characteristics, but there's a little bit of shine with this D50 patch. And that's fun. As far as processing on this, there's really nothing. I have a S1 stereo imager. Honestly, I don't even know if this is necessary. I kind of just figured out what that plugin was at the time. I got excited and started using it on everything. So, I don't know, take that with a grain of salt. Also, forgot to mention one thing. Panning on all these tracks. I have been getting into panning recently. If you don't know what panning is, panning, it's pretty much the idea where you can move sounds between your ears. And honestly, playing with the panning is pretty fun and very important actually to getting a good mix, because when you think about it, the stereo field, there's only so much information you can just fit down the center. It's like a straw. You kind of have to like split the straw open and spread all the information out between the right and the left and the center. So it's kind of like a game of what can you make work? What can you make sound good? I don't know. Experimentation's often the best answer. Just play around, just start panning things hard right, hard left, just see how it sounds. Like not every track is panned, but most of them are, even just if a little bit, just to spread out some of the sound. But anyways, moving on. The next little layer we got here is a B3 organ. Honestly, I love the B3. It's pretty fun. I have the Arturia recreation of it. The B3 organ is classic. You've probably heard it all your lives if you listen to music. It's everywhere. But yeah, this is what it sounds like. So as you can see, it's an organ. It does the job. In context, this is what it sounds like. So you see, again, it's adding color. Like with these ambient tracks, I think it's honestly more important to just make pretty sounds. And the organ is pretty, especially because I'm playing with the speed of the rotary speaker, I believe it's called. Because with organs, they had a thing called the Leslie, which is a weird name for it, but that's just what it is, which is a rotary speaker that literally spins around and makes this like rotating sound. It's like wah, 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 wah. So that's what I'm playing with here. I'm changing the speed from slow to fast. You can probably see it in the plugin window. I played with that in quite a few songs, actually. One of the ones on my album actually plays with that idea. Whoa, isn't that crazy? Not this one, though. It's a different track. I'll talk about it later. The rotary speed is a pretty fun effect, especially with the Arturia one, because even though in the plugin it looks like it's just either slow or it's fast, it takes like a slight second for the plugin to catch up, so you get this really cool like ramping effect of the speed of the rotary organ, so it kind of has that cool little sound like this. I think that's pretty, so I like to play with it, and it adds some cool texture, because who doesn't like texture? As far as processing on this, again, I added the S1 stereo imager. I got excited. I don't even know if it's doing anything, honestly. Who cares? I'm having fun right now, so whatever. I also used a little bit of EQ with the Pro Q. I'm just cutting out some bass frequencies. Could I cut out more? Probably, but I'm doing it my way, okay? Frank Sinatra my way. What's good? Next up, we have more synthes. I got a Zenology patch right here. Zenology actually kind of underrated. Yeah, all the plug-in B producers will talk about it. They'll be like, "Oh my god, I love to make plug-in B." This is no shade to the plug-in B producers. Love you guys, but all they use is Zenology. So I figured, why not take a little card out of their deck, whatever the analogy is, and just play with it. So I got this little Glass Voices patch here. Pretty voices, isn't that cool? I think it's cool. It's really pretty. The voice is always an awesome thing to add to a mix. It's just pretty. It's something I think inherently we all like just because we're humans and we like the sound of our own voice. Again, got some Pro Q. This is a really aggressive curve. I don't know why I did that. It was probably really late at night or something and I was just bugging out. I was just like, I need to EQ it. But yeah, that's all the synths. So now moving on, we got guitar. We have all the guitar you could possibly want in a song, and isn't that so fun? Isn't that fun? I think it's fun. Anyways, so we got this first little guitar thing up here. This is what it sounds like in context. So yeah, just pretty simple stuff. I'm plucking one note for a while, but it sounds pretty. So let's just solo this for a second, take a look at it. If you can't tell, I'm not a guitar player. My timing on this part was not very good. And honestly, my slides down, kind of messy. I didn't care. It sounded cool, and I still think it sounds cool. So let's take a little look at the processing on here, because honestly, I've never really experimented with guitar processing before, so this is kind of a trial and error thing for me. But I think it came out pretty tasty. I'm happy with it so far. So we got, of course, a tuner, because who doesn't need to tune their guitar? And you may notice down here at the reference pitch, you're like, whoa, 450? That's weird. You would be right. Most Western music you hear is in 440 hertz, meaning that A, the note A is equal to 440 hertz, and then everything is equally spaced around that, because we have a system called 12-tone equal temperament, where there's 12 tones in our scale from C to C, C to B, depending, I guess C to B, and all the notes are equally spaced apart from each other. But there's a lot of different ways you can play with that tuning and be totally weird. Different countries do it different ways, and different musical cultures have possibly like 13-tone equal temperament or no equal temperament. It's all just tuning, so it's more mathematical and not just weird Western music. I don't know, Western music is weird, but for some reason it's the standard. So I like to play with that idea and tune to weird things. Sometimes I'll go to A equals 450 or A equals 432, and I don't do this because people are like, oh, if you do it in A equals 432, it'll like heal you and stuff. Yeah, I don't do it because that. I do it because I think it sounds pretty, and it honestly forces me to write differently, because just something about our ears, we are so fundamentally just glued to A equals 440, and that's all we can think about. Whenever I get stuck, I'm just like, screw it, 450, and my entire ear changes, and I start writing different things and weirder things, and that's kind of what I want. So I made this song at 450 for that reason. Plus, I think it just sounds pretty, especially with guitar, because if you think about it, the physics of it, if you tune higher, it becomes brighter in a sense. So you're artificially increasing the brightness of the song by tuning higher. I don't know. This is all kind of a theory. Maybe I'm wrong. If you're like a musicologist or something and you disagree, let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to see what people think. But anyways, next we have guitar amp. This is the Waves amp sim. I'm not fully convinced that I like this amp sim, to be honest. I kind of hate it, but I made it work. And we have some beautiful Juno chorus. They have this little module in the Roland Cloud, which is pretty cool. It's just a chorus module. These things exist in real life too, physically, but it's really pretty. I like the chorus. This is what it sounds like with and without the chorus. So yeah, it adds a lot of width. Chorus is technically a stereo effect, so it really widens that sound a little bit, makes it sound tasty in my opinion. I guess I also have more. Okay, this is not chorus, this is just ensemble, which I guess I don't really know what that does, honestly. I think it sounds good though. This is what it sounds like with and without. This must just be duplicating the signal and kind of spreading it out a little bit so you're not having any phase issues. I think that's what this is doing. Honestly, I don't know. I'm just a boy. I'm just but a boy doing simple things. And then of course we have a little utility. I just do this sometimes to affect the gain or make things mono. I don't know. My techniques are weird, and even though I have utility here affecting the gain, I also automated the volume here. I don't know. I don't know why I do the things I do. I just do. Moving on into the guitar, things really start to get bigger towards like the second half of the song, toward the end. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of guitar going on, and at the same time they all sound like this. So you get the idea. We got a lot of guitar layers going on, doing a lot of different things, but honestly, in the end, it's all pretty simple because I can't play guitar that well, so it has to be simple. So on this first layer right here, we have this. It's the same note over and over. I'm just kind of adding harmonies to this, I think. Sounds pretty. Most of the things I do is just either I think it's cool, sounds pretty. In this case, that is exactly what happened. Later on this layer, we kind of have like a counter melody type thing going on. So yeah, counter melodies are fun. Sometimes drone notes are fun too. As you can see, everything's fun. It's music. Why wouldn't it be fun? So moving on to the next guitar layer. So you see, we got the little melody that kind of drives this whole guitar part of the song down. Yeah, we got that part. This is the higher octave, and then we've got the lower octave down here just for reference. Because, you know, layering octaves is actually really pretty, and it sounds like this altogether. So you can also see over here that I have panned both of these in separate directions. Why would you do that? Well, if you stack them on top of each other, it sounds like this. Like, it sounds fine, don't get me wrong. Like, if I did that, it would have been probably okay. But it definitely feels a lot wider, more majestic, more atmospheric, and you can hear a little bit more information in either ear. Because when you stack them on top of each other, it just doesn't feel like they both get to breathe in the same way. The information is just being squished down into your ear holes, versus here, it's just like breathing. It's just hanging out, you know? So it sounds better in my opinion. Then later on these two channels, we also have a second little melody that you get to in the second part, and it sounds like this. So fun. Second melodies, I really like this one. It's kind of a departure from the first melody you see, and I just think it's pretty. I don't know, it's pretty again. There you go. Also, fun little thing. As you can see, these guitar lines don't always line up, and honestly, sometimes they're not even the same. Like, look here. Like, I totally just flubbed that right there, but you wouldn't know in the rest of the song. Like, look. You can't even hear it. And honestly, if anything, it adds to flair, because one thing I have found when I'm recording octave doubles is that when they're the same, they stack on top of each other, just like they lock in perfectly. It can be cool, but when you're panning them already, it's cool to have some differences, because it just makes it sound more interesting to your ears, because there's different things going on everywhere, and it just feels crazy. I'm crazy. But yeah, that's kind of those two guitar layers, and honestly, I think that's kind of it for the guitar. Last thing we got here, and then we're done. We got some bass going on. Because it's all about that bass, baby. It's all about that bass. So for this track, I use electric bass. Again, like I've said, I've never used electric bass before. I assume I've said that, but if I didn't, now I'm saying it. Never used electric bass before. I think it's really cool on this track, and it's pretty easy and simple. I'm just playing the roots of these chords because, that's the best thing you can do. So I'm just playing E, B, A, and F sharp, just down the bass. And it sounds like this. As you can see, it was really boring to play this part because I had to wait like 15 billion years for the chord to change to play the next note. But the processing here is pretty simple. I got a tuner again because I always have to tune, because these guitars and basses don't like to stay in 450. Got Pro Q taken out a little. What is this? What number is this? We got like 7K, I think. Taking out 17 dB. Is this overkill, and does this have any effect? I have no idea. Oh, yes, it does. I think I was... Yeah, there was a little bit of hiss that I was trying to get rid of, and I think I successfully achieved that. Then, of course, we've got some amp sim. Again, I played with this until I liked it. Still not convinced I like the Waves amp, but, whatever. Again, got some Juno chorus, and you'd be like, if you're a music person, you might be thinking, well, why would you put a stereo effect on bass? Aren't you going to mono out the bass? You'd be correct, but it sounds cool. Break the rules. There are no rules. Nothing is real. Everything's a lie. But with the chorus, it sounds like this. Without the chorus, it sounds like this. It's fine without the chorus, but I really like how juicy the chorus makes it sound. It's fun. I like it. And even though I monoed the bass and made it to where it's not a stereo sound, it still sounds good. Like without the mono, it sounds like this. And honestly, when I tried this, I found it to be really disorienting for the bass not to be mono in this song, because there's already so much going on between two ears. Then having the bass be there too, just waving around, it just felt weird. So I figured, keep the bass in the back, keep it mono. So it just feels super rock solid, and everything's chill, and everybody's having fun. A little fun thing right here I figured I would talk about. I have a cool little tape stop effect that's going on. It sounds like this. Tape stop. I love it. So the idea, I guess, is that you're using a reel-to-reel tape machine, and then you're starting it up in the middle of the song, so you get that cool pitching up sound effect as it's getting up to speed. And I'm just using a free plugin right now. It's called Kilohertz Tape Stop. Really cool plugin, actually. I find it very useful. It sounds great. It's free. Definitely go get it. Kilohertz makes awesome plugins. But yeah, I'm literally just hitting pause and play. So it's paused right here. As you can see, I turned the stop and start time all the way up and kind of had the speed curve. I'm making it real curvy and cool because it really increases the time that it has to start up and makes it sound really cool. We also got a little high pass filter action in here, bringing in the bass frequencies slowly. Makes it sound real smooth. Again, got a little bit of Pro Q here, just cutting out some bass frequencies. But generally, that's about it. Honestly, this is one of the simpler songs I've ever made, and I'm really happy with it. Actually, experimenting with guitar has been pretty fun, and yeah, pretty excited for how this song turned out. I'm excited to do some other breakdowns of some of the other songs on the album, show you guys what I've been up to lately, my new techniques, which are really just trial and error and just hope everything doesn't break. But anyways, that's all I got on this one. I hope this was useful. I hope this was fun. I hope this was possibly informative or possibly really fart worthy. But, you know, that's all I got today. Peace.